This is the painting by Tymedust. Games. A short experience in the Purgatoryverse made for the O2A2 Jam from 2022. And fairly short experience. If you're familiar at all with the other games from this world that I've played recently, you will probably recognize the subject matter when we play through this. If not, then you will still hear a story about grief and loss, days long gone. But if you have watched my Pit Stop in Purgatory playthrough, you will very likely recognize the subject matter here. This is canonical. The tagline says, "It's been 10 years. A grieving father relives memories of days long gone in a short kinetic experience. Sure to leave an impression." Let us take a ride down memory lane, shall we? A few hours I spend with you are worth 1,000 hours I spend without you. Unknown. I often think about when your mother came back from the hospital, holding you in her arms. To this day, it remains my biggest shame that I couldn't be by her side when you came into the world. I remember looking at you, thinking, I won't miss another important day of your life for as long as I live. And only days after that, I promptly quit my job. The work I did there paid well, but the time it stole from me could never justify that. Time. That's the thing, isn't it? We know that it's our most precious resource, yet we throw it away haphazardly as if there's no risk of it ever running out. I eventually managed to find new employment with fewer hours spent away from home. It was out in the country, so we had to move. We know who this is about. Your mother always was a natural-born entertainer. Heck, she still is. She used to sing, dance, and do impressions, and you used to point and laugh. That was your way of showing how much you adored something. Two of you kept our spirits high, even when there wasn't much else to do so far away from the big city. Obviously, you inherited that fun-loving nature from her. Your flair for being dramatic, though, that was all me. Maybe the combination of those traits is what led you down the road to acting. I was jealous. I wanted more time with you. At work, I could never stop thinking about what you and your mother might be doing at home. I was perpetually afraid that I'd miss out on important events. Turns out, I was right. Not only did I miss your birth, I missed when you started crawling, I missed your first steps, and I even missed your first word. That last one hurt a bit more than the others. Maybe because I'm a word man myself. I just couldn't wait to hear those first syllables pop out of your cute little mouth. But I missed it, and I cried when I found out. Then your mother told me what your first word was. Dada. So my tears fell yet again, but for entirely different reasons. Watching you grow older was so inspiring. I started writing again after many years of barely holding a pen. Stories about a charming, intelligent, and inquisitive young girl solving mysteries that even the police couldn't figure out. Those stories turned into books which ended up gaining popularity fast. As a result, I was able to quit my job and work from home as a full-time author. Wasn't ever going to miss anything again. I have you to thank for that. Fuck, man, that makes that hurt even more. Winner! When you started school, I was worried that your outspoken personality would get you in trouble. However, things turned out the exact opposite. You were effortlessly charming, and both friends and teachers adored you. That's your second grade class play award. I think that's what it was. Wish I could take credit for that, but as with most of your great qualities, you had your mother to thank. You were only 8 when you entered and won that acting contest. I didn't think it was possible to be that proud, and that's coming from a best-selling author. Just some of that dry humor that always bothered you. Though I like to think that, somewhere deep inside, you secretly found it endearing. Turns out the best story I ever got to tell was the one of being your father. My pride was nothing compared to yours. You held the diploma so high that you couldn't see your face behind it. I can only imagine how wide that smile must have been. Every day I miss seeing it. Love you, Dad. Oh. Hey. The years flew by, and the day eventually came when you decided to set out on your own. Accepted to a prestigious acting school, a new chapter of your life was about to begin, one in which me and your mother were no longer the main supporting cast. I realized that despite my best efforts, there was always going to be things in your life I'd not be a part of. Your mother took that photo of us. If I knew then that it would be the last one of us together, I would have hugged you even tighter. I would have told you once again how proud of you always made me, how much I always loved you, how every day of your life was the best day of mine. I'm sure you'd brush it aside and you'd tell me that I was just being silly with all my rambling. Just you being you. You grew up so fast. I just wish that you had gotten to grow even older. But the truth is, I could have said anything and it wouldn't have made a difference. Pain and sadness and longing would still be the same. Still feels like another life getting that phone call. We hadn't heard from you for a long time since you were working on that new movie, and then you just gone. Doctor said that they did everything they could. I want to believe that. I suppose it doesn't matter in the end. Me and your mother are still here. And you're not. Nothing could ever fill the hole that you left behind. You learn to live with it, but it never stops hurting. Today it's been 10 years. We still live in the same house you grew up in. I'm writing a new book, and your mother just recently started leading a choir. I guess you could say that we're keeping busy. Despite everything, when I look at this wall, I'm grateful. Grateful for the years we had together. Grateful that I got to be your father. I will always love you. Good night. Oh, Astrid. My little Astrid. Oh, God, that hurts. Ah, that hurts. I could never really speak on that to any sort of degree, but I don't. It's. I could never really speak on the difficulty of living in that house where that Astrid grew up in. They raised her in, that she could never truly come back to. Has to be unimaginably difficult, but like you said there, the they obviously have that wall of memories of her, all the good times, that they did have, the time they did have with her. Much as it hurts not having her in their lives anymore, they still have all the memories of the time they did have to give them some solace. As difficult as it has to be. Damn. Oh. This is our, this is really the end of Astrid's origin story here now. Now, we turn our eyes to more to come in the Purgatoryverse. With the poetry in Purgatory continuing onward. Astrid, now a deity, involved in matters far above her, trying to do her best to keep being this absolute outgoing, charming, good-hearted woman to everyone in Purgatory and beyond. Wow, there's bigger things brewing. Keep your eyes peeled for more to come. But for now, this puts a bow and a flower on Astrid's time on this earth. And perhaps we can take solace in the fact that they are her parents. As much as they hurt, much as they will always hurt, they are still surviving. They still have these memories of her to bring them some comfort. They still have all the good that her being their child, all the good that it brought them. They still have that to carry them onward. Damn, that was... Even if I hadn't played the series before now, that was still very powerfully written. That gets you in the end. That gets you in the end. That was very powerfully written. All right. Remember to cherish the people around you and the time that you have together. And I will see you next time. Until then.